earlier pieces from Heroes of Magic. Season 1, and this music is in the Baroque style of. Oh, thank you. Would you like me to sing a song? Oh, okay. Thank you very, very much. Thank you so much. Thank you. So great to see you. And to my colleagues here, Dr. Brock Summers, David Wurzel, Adam on the bass, and our maestro Alberski on accordion. And honestly, this is something that I like to do at my house, in our house in Los Angeles. We have friends come over and we play melodies of whatever, whether it's Baroque music or pop music or Dua Lipa, Metallica, Beethoven, Vivaldi. So this is like a jam session with my friends. And it feels like all of you are inside of my living room, so it's very nice. All we need are cocktails. So we like to start off with some music that sounds like it's from a very long time ago, like over 300 years ago. This is some of the tunes from the very first Heroes of Might and Magic. So we're gonna just play for you, and then I hope you enjoy this. That's amazing to hear Baroque sounding music that was originally on harpsichord and strings, and to hear on a saxophone and guitars and an accordion. That's amazing. That's a transference of eras and epochs and styles, but it still works. That's beautiful. I never heard that. I never heard that piece on accordion. That's fantastic. Thank you very much. Okay, so I think we'd like to do something like, let's do something from Heroes of Might and Magic #2. This is going to be a little bit of Grassland. nice to play that with a friend. David arrived last night from Prague, and so we met last night for just like literally a few minutes, less than an hour, and then we came back here a few hours ago. And we've been working diligently to get our parts together for tonight. So I hope you enjoy how beautiful David's performance was. That was amazing. That was like the third time I heard it, like last night, and then a little bit earlier, and then right now. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed it so much I almost wanted to stop playing. Just listen to you. Okay, we're gonna move on to. I think we're gonna do. Oh yeah, this is nice. Usually, in the first Heroes of Might and Magic, that was like 30 years ago, by the way. It was crazy. I can't believe it was 30 years ago. I was 28 years old when I started working on the Heroes 1 game. And the funniest thing is, that first game, the soundtrack of that game is the oldest sounding, meaning that sounds like it's from like 350 years ago. It kind of has a feeling of Baroque era with a teeny tiny touch of medieval thrown in. And then as the years go by and the soundtracks, the games got higher into their numbers, 3, 4, 5, 6, the style of music became younger. It's the weirdest thing. So the music with each game got pushed up like a century or so. So by the time we did Heroes 2, it sort of was Baroque, but then it became a little more neoclassical. And then in this particular piece we're going to do for you, it became a little bit of jazzy. I got tired of doing all the Baroque stuff. I needed to do something a little bit more avant-garde. So this one kind of sounds jazzy, a little bit like a horror movie, but pretty at the same time. This is called The Snow Theme. Sounds a little bit like the Exorcist. At that time, I think during Heroes, I think it was like Heroes 2, right? Yeah, Heroes 2. I was studying orchestration at UCLA, and there was a competition through BMI, who was the musical residual organization, and they heard all of us composers, and there was a competition for the Jerry Goldsmith Award. Jerry Goldsmith was a great composer in the 1970s for movies like The Exorcist and scary movies. Anyway, so I won the award. BMI gave me the award, and part of my prize was that I got to hang out with Jerry Goldsmith. And so he heard this piece. And he said, "You must have been watching The Exorcist or The Omen because, because I think I used that." So of course I need to imitate the great masters of my time. So he was very happy that there was a little bit of his style in my music during the soundtrack. So anyway, just give you a little reference. Okay, we'd like to move on to, this is something called The Sea from Heroes 2. And in this particular piece, I was trying to evoke, obviously, the sea, but using the techniques of piano music of Ravel and Debussy, where we do a lot of lots of fast arpeggio. So we would like to play for you the sea theme from Heroes 2. my family is Mexican. I'm from Los Angeles, and whenever Mexicans have parties, it's very hard to say goodbye because your intent is, okay, I'm gonna leave. It's 10 o'clock. Gotta say goodbye, and like an hour and a half later, you're a little bit closer to the door, and you're still saying goodbye to everybody. It takes about 2 hours to have a Mexican goodbye. That was a Mexican goodbye. Beautiful, that was really fun. Oh, but who knew the ocean can turn into a jazz club? That was great. Okay, we would like to do now for you a few things in a row. So we're just going to play them for you from Heroes 2. These are things that have to do with things like barbarians and wizards and sorceresses. So I hope you just sit back and enjoy the flow. I have to, there's a camera right there, so if I have very unsightly things, I have to take them off the piano because the camera is coming right this way. So I'm going to put this down over here. Okay, here we go. On that piece, when I was working this piece out and composing it for the score, I was imagining sort of a funereal march. This sort of, this kind of feeling, sort of like a Baroque era funeral march, or like even Chopin. How does the funeral march go? Shoot, the Chopin one. Do you want that? Oh, anyway, the Chopin wrote one too, and I can't remember. Oh yeah. There you go. Music 101. Alrighty. So we're going to do, actually I'm going to, you guys, I'm going to play a little solo, if you don't mind, some of my early, if do you want to stay up here? Because it's going to be like 10 minutes long. Do you want to stay here, or you guys, or do you want to take a break, go backstage? I'm fine either way. You won't hurt my feelings. Do you guys want to stay up here?
I don't mind.
Okay. Well, the reason why I'm going to play this for you today is when I was 3 years old, the first music I really remember hearing was the music of Chopin. And I'm just a little kid from Los Angeles, and my parents, being Mexican immigrants, we would primarily be listening to Latino music, but for some reason they had a recording of Arthur Rubinstein, the great pianist, playing the nocturnes of Chopin. And I would listen to this recording over and over and over again because it had like this magical sound to me. And I didn't know what this, it was like a perfume almost, with the speakers hearing this magical kind of music. And so my parents had a piano, and I would listen to the recording and then try to imitate it, whatever I was able to do from the recording. And then sometimes I would like the sound, I would figure out the sound a lot, and I would like it so much that I would try to make it longer. Like I would imitate the recording, but then I wanted to make it longer so it wouldn't stop. So I would just kept playing. And that was sort of my initiation into learning how to compose and learning how to improvise, and also take on the musical language of composers that I love, that I really responded to. So it's funny that the music of Chopin brought me into a different way of thinking in my life, and I pursued that sound my whole life, of the beauty of the music of Chopin, and tried to imitate it. And as a result, I became a composer because producers liked the way I would write, kind of in the Chopin style. And so it's really nice that I now get to come to Chopin's country and share my music with the people of Poland, when really the Polish people, or the culture, was through his sound was what made me love music. So this is a very beautiful way to have a thing in my life, to come to Poland and play for you. So I would like to play for you a few of my favorite pieces of Chopin. So I just put them all together, and these are the pieces that I liked as a little kid. So it's a little bit of everything. So sit back and enjoy like 10 minutes of some Chopin. we would like to now play some fun things for you. We're going to do. Oh, this is a really good one. Now we're moving ahead to Heroes 4. We're gonna do the main theme from Heroes 4, but we're gonna do it in a slightly different way for you. We're gonna have our friends start in the middle. We'll do like a little duo, like a little competition to see which you like better. Okay. fun actually to do the same melody and hear different combinations play it. Like I never thought I would hear Heroes 4 on the accordion and the guitar. That's amazing. Really very powerful, beautiful. So we like to do the same thing from tune from Heroes of Might and Magic number 3, and this is initially a piece of music that was inspired by, for me, going to Disneyland in California when I was a kid. There's a ride at Disneyland called the Haunted House, and if you've ever, I don't know if you've ever been on it, but if you ever go on that ride, it takes like 8 minutes to go on the ride, and you really go through hell and you go through death and everything. It really is like a necropolis, but it's sort of a happy necropolis. It's full of motion and full of I guess it's dark, but it seems, it's lively is what it is. So this piece is inspired by the Disneyland Haunted House, and we'd like to play for you kind of a couple versions of it. Our friend David Wurzel from Prague, being a great guitarist, he played Heroes of Might and Magic, and he figured out how to play the necropolis on the guitar, which is interesting because the necropolis has choirs and has full orchestra and harpsichord and pipe organs and everything, you name it, everything. And he managed to figure out a way to capture a lot of these orchestrations within his guitar version. So, David, you'd like to show us how you orchestrate necropolis?
Sure, okay. If you please, I will. I'm just gonna check the tune.
That was awesome. You know what's amazing? You're very good looking and you look like the way a guitar should look. Like you think of, okay, so many romantic playing the guitar, they're great, and they have to be good looking. And you're like, you're talented and good looking. That's very unfair. And you're young. You're young, you're handsome, and you're talented. That's triply unfair. But that was beautiful. You got even a flamenco flavor to it. Parts of it, when you play it like on the guitar, it sounds almost like rock and roll sometimes. It's like you really took it places. And it's funny because rock and roll is a 20th century thing, but the melody of this Necropolis. It is the oldest known melody in the Western world, and they say it's over 1,000 years. It was a melody created by monks in the Roman Catholic Church, and it was used for the ceremony of death. When somebody passed away, this chant was a chant that helped kind of get the person to where they needed to go, which hopefully was heaven. So this melody has been used in every Catholic church ever since 1,000 years ago. And I became aware of it as a kid because my favorite composers, Rachmaninoff and Brahms and Franz Liszt, they all used this Dies Irae melody in some of their compositions. So I was like, oh, I like this tune. It kind of has a very haunting feel. So I thought I need to use that melody in some of my music as well, just like the rest of them. So I decided since this was going to be the Necropolis, why not use a melody that was actually written for the Mass for the Dead. So this is the history of that melody. And now handsome David Wurzel comes along and he makes it sound like rock and roll. That's great. So Adam and I are going to play the same thing for you, and he, because of the bass, he's able to actually make some little special effects in there that I really like because it kind of sounds like somebody screaming every now and then. So if you hear like little screams, don't let it frighten you. It's just like a little scream inside of the double bass over there. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing for you. need help. Call the ambulance. Okay, we would like to now play for you. What are we doing? Oh, we're going to do, oh yeah, I love this. You and I are going to do a little bit of, not a little bit, we're going to do a piece that was influenced by the symphonic dance number 2 of Rachmaninoff. When I love listening to the symphonic dances of Rachmaninoff. They have a very haunting feeling. If you've never heard them, go listen to them. It's about a half hour long, and it's 3 pieces. They're all different kinds of, the 3 different dances. This is based on the second dance of the symphonic dances, and it's sort of in the waltz style. So if you hear it with the orchestra, it really does sound very similar to Rachmaninoff's symphonic dance. When you hear it with us, for some reason, it sounds like The Godfather. I don't know why. It changed flavors, but it's just piano and bass. So we would like to play for you the Tower theme from Heroes 3. So in case like you're thinking, well, that didn't really sound like The Godfather, but in The Godfather there is a waltz. It goes. That little tune. Somehow it kind of sounds like that when we do piano duet. Okay, next we would like to play for you. Gosh, what are we doing here? Oh, you and I. You and I. So Mateusz on the accordion and I are going to do one of the more exotic tunes from Heroes 3, which is called Rampart. And so we would like to try that for you on piano and accordion. Even though on the recording, my idea was to make it sound very exotic, as if Cleopatra were arriving on the Nile. And I tried to use some Armenian harmonies in this piece. So, but we can have it any which way you interpret the piece. So we would like to try it on accordion and piano for you.
Mostly because my instrument sounds the closest to the trombone. So.
that was the main theme, and then the win, like when you win things. This melody, my producer, when we were working on the soundtrack, he says to me, "I want something that sounds like John Williams." And I said, "Well, I'm not John Williams." He goes, "Well, try to do something good like him, like." And at the time, the movie Jurassic Park had just come out, and my producer loved that melody from Jurassic Park. Do you remember how that goes? Jurassic Park. It sounds like that. It's very similar. Yeah. So there was those first three notes of the wind theme were definitely inspired by the theme from Jurassic Park. Sorry, John Williams. But he had a great influence on me. We would like to now do some things. See how much time we have? Yeah, we have time, right? Good. Okay, we have just a handful of little tunes to play for you. Since we're doing the history of Heroes of Might and Magic, we're going to bump ahead. Brock and I are going to play something for you from, probably you've never heard, from Heroes 7. I know it was not a very good game, but that's okay. I still got paid, so don't worry. One of the wonderful things about working for the Heroes franchise is that they always allowed me to do the style of music that really I wanted and that I thought I was comfortable doing. So when I started Heroes 1, I was very comfortable to do music in the style of Bach and Vivaldi. But by the time I got to Heroes 7, I was more comfortable to do music in the style of Gustav Mahler and things like Carmina Burana. So and this piece of mine was actually a direct tribute to the Adagio by Gustav Mahler from his Resurrection Symphony, which I love to death. I'm sure you've heard it before. It's been in a lot of movies. But this is sort of my tribute to Mahler from Heroes of Might and Magic 7. Brock is a psychiatrist. I mean, that's his medical profession, and he's worked many different areas of psychiatry. And one of the things about Heroes of Might and Magic is that I've been with Brock for 28 years, but we were friends maybe like 31 years ago. And when I was starting working on the Heroes, the game, the first one, I was like 28, 29. And then I was still like, by the time Heroes 2 and 3 were coming along, I was working as a composer, but I was also working as a construction worker at the same time. I was doing construction work during the daytime and then going to the studio at nighttime. And then I was with Brock, and so that's very tedious, you know, to be with somebody who's working all hours of the night. So he goes, why don't you just like forget the construction job and focus on the composing, and don't worry about like having to worry about bills and stuff like that. Which is really good, because when you work for computer gaming companies, you don't get paid for like 6 months after you finish the project and they okay the job. So meaning that like if I took 6 months to compose Heroes 3, I wasn't going to be paid during any of that time, and I would have to wait another 6 months after I finished. So it would be a year from the time I started before I would get a paycheck. And Brock actually took care of everything during that time. He goes, don't worry about the bills, I'll take care of all that. So if he didn't do that, I wouldn't have been able to do any of his soundtrack. So in a way, you actually are a very big part of the the Heroes soundtrack. So thank you very much for letting me have that freedom and space to not worry about things during that time. So I just wanted to, that was a little funny thing. If anybody who wants to go into gaming music, you just have to know you're not going to get paid for like 6 months until afterward. Okay, so we would like to play for you some things from Heroes 4. And these are very kind of wistful environmental pieces. We'd like to play for you something, a wise tale and wandering, and we're going to do hopes for a dream and hope. These are kind of relaxing things and hopeful things. So we hope you enjoy these selections. Thank you so much. Rock Summers? You doing it so well? Nice job. Thank you. Beautiful. So cool. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Gosh, like, it was so, I'm sorry, we still have like a million songs. Like, I apologize for, I wrote too many songs. So, what I want to do is just to play a couple quick things from Heroes 5, which we're going to be doing tomorrow at the concert. But I'm just going to do real quick.